Good evening, everyone. Welcome on in to another installment of Medical Talk in Layman's Terms with Nurse Charlene. And I am the host, Nurse Charlene. And tonight's topic is something near and dear to my heart because we're talking about what you're on right now, which is social media and everything. Yes, as I get started, it's social media and mental health. It's kind of one and the same and stuff, your mental health and how you deal with social media. So that's what I'm going to be talking about this evening and stuff. A really cool topic and everything. But before I get started, of course, I gotta read my podcast disclaimer. I'm trying to get somebody on right now and stuff. But I got to read my podcast disclaimer because, yes, I need to stay rolling with you guys and everything. So putting these people on here and everything. So I'll get started in just a second. Okay, cool. Okay, and stuff. So welcome on, you guys. You see my little board in the back. I'll be working hard and stuff. It's not so, a lot of characters and stuff, but I drew those and stuff. So I'll start over here with my Facebook and Indeed. I just looked it up on online and stuff and came up with these. This one is Instagram. We got some Twitter. We got YouTube. We got Spotify or Shopify, somethingify, and then we got TikTok and different ones. And then over here is a person and their brain, and they talking about their neck hurt from scrolling and stuff like that. Their eyes hurt, and my views went down. That would probably be me. My views went down. Oh, my views went up, and stuff. It's like a little roller coaster. And then a lot of slang that we use and stuff like, tag, and share. What else? Oh, they're gone viral, and cyberbullying. I'm going to speak on that. Also speaking on trolls, people that don't have savory things to say about you when they should just stay off your page and, I guess go somewhere else and stuff where they can get attention and everything. So basically, just all these little different things and what happens to us when we're doing that. I got you on. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, put them up, elevate them. Okay, so yeah, that's me being nurse and stuff. But oh yes, please. Okay. Yes, welcome on, Miss Sandra and T. She said, good evening, Nurse Charlene, Rosie, and Britt. And welcome on, Auntie Josie. She said, good evening, everyone. Hoping everyone is having a beautiful and blessed evening. Yes, we are. And we hope you have the same, a beautiful and blessed evening. Yes, welcome on, ladies and stuff. Thank you for coming in and everything. So the topic of discussion is going to be mental health and then also social media. Hey, yeah, and stuff, social media and what it does to us. We're on social media now. So you see what you're, getting on, and it's a certain set time for this person to come on or that person, or you look at it around this time after you get home and get out, get bathed and showered or whatever, eat your food and all of that type of stuff. And then you sit down and you scroll and you scroll and you scroll, or you might have a tablet. I'll scroll and scroll. You might have a computer, scroll. That's your little thing. When you have a little mouse, and stuff like that. So that's where that comes from. So let me go ahead and read my podcast disclaimer first and stuff, and we'll get started. And it goes as follows. Welcome to Medical Talk in Layman's Terms with Nurse Charlene, where health and illnesses are broken down into simple, easy to understand conversations. That's what we do. And, not just me, the host, talking, but also the audience, you guys are talking and stuff, and I welcome you in and stuff because we want to do a back and forth. We don't want it to be one-sided. You just watching me talk and you don't get no interaction. If you come on, you can get on and say something, just type your comment and stuff. No harm, no foul. and everything. So this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. While Nurse Charlene is a licensed registered nurse with extensive healthcare experience, the information shared here is not intended to replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Every person is different. Every person. What works for one individual may not work for another. Ooh, that was a gnat. Okay. Always consult your doctor, nurse practitioner, or qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or before making changes to your health, medications, or your lifestyle. If you think you may have a medical emergency, call 911, please, or seek immediate medical attention. Get to the hospital, get to that ER or something, take care of yourself or your loved ones. The views shared on this podcast are based on professional experience and general medical knowledge, presented in layman's terms to help bridge the gap between healthcare and everyday understanding, because healthcare is its own language also, and you got to watch out for that. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge and agree that this is not a substitute for personalized medical care, okay? No provider-patient relationship is established, and you are responsible for your own healthcare decisions. You got to be. Nobody else should do it. They don't know you. You inside of you, okay? Remember, your body speaks. Your body's a snitch. Believe it. Listen to it. Respect it. And when in doubt, check it out with a medical professional. Thank you for tuning in and taking a step towards better understanding of your health. Okay. So everything I do is not a one size fits all, but it might fit somebody else in your family. So it might not refer to you, but it does refer to somebody and everything. And like I said, checking out that board behind me, it kind of, every time I put something up there, it's goes with the topic. If I'm talking about the brain, if I'm talking about a stroke, if I'm talking about your eye, you'll see an eye up there. You'll see this, you'll see that. And that's where that comes in at and everything. So let me see one quick thing. Yep. Sorry about that. I had to turn something off. It keeps ringing and it's driving me crazy and stuff. So crazy. It's not a medical definition. It's just slang for saying, yes, it's messing with me. It's messing with my mental health. So crazy is not that, and stuff. Is crazy is like saying hood rat, or something like that. So it's not a real word and everything. Okay. So guess what? I'm going to tell y'all about mental health and social media. And I'm going to start with when the scroll controls you instead of you controlling the scroll. So that's what it's saying. The scroll controls you because you can't keep that finger off of there. You can't stop doing this. Look at I got a computer around me. I got a phone over here, I got all this stuff going on. I got my mental that I got to keep in check so that I can give you and deliver you some nice nourishment, about social media this time today and everything. And, oh, okay. Thank you. Oh yeah. I put a towel over it. Okay. Yes. Sorry. That's my assistant. I'll pay her as soon as I get rich. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all, and stuff. So welcome on in, everybody. Today we're talking about something that almost every person uses every day. Social media. Welcome on in, Auntie Rena. She said, hello, beautiful. Then you go sit up there and make me blush. No, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we're talking about social media and mental health. And so it's when scroll controls you instead of you controlling the scrolling and everything. And so social media, that's your Facebook. So up here on the board and stuff, we got some little things. I tried to draw them oh yeah, for it was a little gnat in here. He tried to dive right at my eye, and I'm like, yep, it's no food in my eye. I'm telling you now and stuff. But yeah, it happens. It's life and everything. But social media, we got your Facebook, we got your Instagram, we got your TikTok, we got Snapchat, WhatsApp, we got X that was formerly Twitter, we got YouTube, we got Threads, we got Lemonade or something like that, Lemonade or something like that. We got LinkedIn, we got Indeed.com, we got Shopify, YouTube. I think I said it already and stuff, but all those things and stuff. And so which one you gonna get on? Yeah, exactly. And stuff, because I was like, which one I'm gonna get on? I'm still learning Facebook, and now I gotta go over here and jump over to here because I'm a content creator or digital creator. I, create these podcasts and people listen, and stuff. Surprisingly more than I ever would have thought in my life, but I'm learning as I go. So I haven't found the magic sauce to do it perfect, but I'm learning as I go. But I'm going to show you that this gets me just as much as it gets you. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to put yourself down for, down because this is what's happening. And everything. Oh God. Knock the okay. Okay. Social media has changed the way we learn, communicate, shop, work, date, and even think. Like right here behind me, I got, what is it? Christian Mingle. What else we got? Peoplemeet.com, some type of Tinder.com. It used to be another one called Black People Meet or something like that and stuff. But it's all these little social media outlets and stuff that if you're lonely and you want to date and stuff, you might could meet somebody overseas or something like that and stuff. I don't suggest going that far and stuff, but I mean, it's out there, and everything. And you gotta, when you're looking, even looking abroad and stuff, you got to be careful because there's predators in everything. And so just imagine the predators for our younger, because we're adults. So we know sometimes we got to do better. But what about the youngins, the teenagers and stuff going on there? There's cyberbullying, there's trolling, people troll even the celebrities. So they get mad. They'll come on there with a rant like, F all of y'all, and so and such and such. Y'all can all find out what I'm thinking, all of that stuff is serious. So, this becomes almost life and death. Your behaviors, your ability to handle stress, your ability to make healthy decisions. That's your mental health. Good mental health does not mean that you're happy all the time. Because life's on you, if that makes sense. So even though you might have good mental health, that doesn't mean that you're somehow, perfect or a shot above the rest. You still gonna have some bills that you think might be too high. You still might have a family member that gets sick or something like that, and then that throws you into another world of this or that. We lose people and stuff. We gain people. All this different stuff going on and everything, because life is still life, even with or without Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever and stuff, TikTok or whatever else. You still gonna have your ups and downs. Good mental health also means that you can handle the life's ups and downs. Also, it helps you build healthy relationships instead of building them out of toxicity. So then, she outside with a frying pan ready to knock her baby daddy upside the head, will eventually make a plan to move forward. So that means they lost their job and everything. So they're going to apply for unemployment or something. They come up with a plan where somebody else lose their job and they want to shoot up everybody up in there. Everybody got to get it. Ain't nobody going to have a job. I'm not going to have a job because after I shoot everybody, I'm going to kill myself too, or something like that and stuff. So that's where that laziness, it is not something to be ashamed of. And just like diabetes affects the pancreas, Mental illness affects the brain, okay, because it's your way of thinking. Your brain is your think center most of the time. So what is social media? What is social media? I wonder. Okay, let's find out. Okay, social media is a collection of websites and apps that allow people to communicate, share pictures, videos, opinions, and information online. Examples of social media would be all of these right here and stuff: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. So they're all tuned into that one little thing that they get to be on and everything. So that's what they're going by and stuff. So it's just weird, but a lot of people see you and they're all monitoring. And you like, oh, I like that. He said something positive, or she said something positive, and the next thing you know, you want that money. Well, hit like, tag, and share, and you just did that, and now they got your name, and they're gonna do something about it. It's good for me. It's 100%. Okay, so when I said going viral, it says millions of people can see it within our daylights out of me. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God. I just heard it crying and stuff. And it scared the crap out of me. And I was like, I ain't never looking at nothing like that again. And then maybe a while back, I didn't. And then, some time went, I'm scrolling. Or you just want to, what is your thinking behind it? Looking at it and stuff. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's really weird, but that's what we're on. You're on social media right now and stuff. That's how crazy it is and everything. So another thing about going viral. So I gave you examples, the dance challenge, or that song by Inga Rose or something, I Celebrate Me. You like, ooh, she's speaking to me. That's my life. I got up, I'm still standing, and and all of that. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But what if they start just flooding the scene with it because she went viral? You see what I'm saying? So now they're flooding the scene with, this song, and hey, I like that song. That's my jam. Or Leandria Johnson, for some of us, churchgoers, you hear her singing her Deliver Me and all of that, and how she got on down and stuff. It went viral. So people still listen to that, and different things and stuff like that. And it's okay. It's just that, it went viral and stuff, but the words, you're looking at the words and stuff, but it's still going viral because you can't say, if that song pops up, you're going to keep on wanting to, listen to that and try to understand it. Welcome on in, Miss Michelle. And she said, hello, Charlene. Hello, Miss Michelle. I'm glad to see you on. And Rosie Granny Allen said, loving that board in the background. My mom. That's my lovely mother. She is wonderful. Yeah, I just love her so. But welcome on in, y'all, and stuff. Let's get on down. We talking about social media, the thing that we all addicted to probably and stuff. But a problem with going viral, because I told you about the song I Celebrate Me and all these different things and stuff, is sometimes people become famous. And that's good. Like, I can become famous, or something like that. And then sometimes people become victims. It depends on how they caught you, and everything and what happened. And that, episode of you getting on there and becoming viral. What happened? Did you knock somebody out? Or what happened? And then also, one embarrassing moment can be seen forever. Like something that you didn't even mean to get out there can now be some, like an example of something embarrassing getting out there, and it is forever out there, is the sex tapes, these celebrity sex tapes. The Kardashian, Kim Kardashian had one, and all these different people have one, and sometimes they release these sex tapes and they can either go viral and everybody like, yeah, they was getting down, or oh my God, oh, that's nasty, you know, or something like that. So that's crazy and stuff. So Auntie Josie, I see you put something up there. You said I had a coworker who told me he was going to shoot up my department when he got fired, but he was going to call me so I can leave the building. But I did let my supervisor know what was going to happen. Exactly. It's called it's not exactly that. I'm not sure what it's called and stuff, but it's like going postal and everything, you know, because that was one of the first guys they said going postal. This guy got fired from his job. That's his livelihood. How do I pay my mortgage? How do I pay for my car note? How do I feed my family? And you're going to fire me, and I've been here all this time, you know, more than other people and stuff, and you're going to take me out and stuff. And he came back with a gun and he shot up everybody, you know, his co-workers, ex-co-workers, and all of that type of stuff. And anybody that had something to do with it, he already knew the ins and outs, how to get in the building, slip in the building, because he'd been there a long time, you know, and everything. And so, Auntie Josie, I hear what you're saying and stuff. And that is definitely an example of, you know, oh, they gonna get rid of you, and that's your friend and stuff, and you like, yeah, they're gonna fire her and stuff like that, or they're gonna fire him and stuff, and he like, I'm about to knock the hell out of such and such, and that doctor over there on the 4th floor, and the so and so and such, and you like, oh God, like, what do I do? Well, actually, as most of us are mandated reporters, you know, and everything. Like my Auntie Josie might be a mandated reporter. So you have to tell. It's just like you're a teacher and you have these children, and one of your children, you know, one of the kids, you see them kind of off to their self, and they got bumps and bruises all over them and stuff. One of the parents then beat the hell out of the child or something like that. And you know this is abuse. You have to report that whether you like their mother and father or not. You got to, it's against the law for you not to report that. You have to tell. Even if you didn't want to. I don't want to be no snitch, you know, not my little medical, your body is a snitch, but the other kind of snitch. I don't want to be no snitch telling them, no, you got to be a snitch, because what happens when that baby doesn't come back to school and they dead? What you gonna do? So then now you ready to kill yourself because you're guilty because you did not report that. So if Auntie Josie did report that and they come up there and shoot up the building and stuff, and or you can't even get out, so you gonna get shot up too because you stayed and he told you to leave. You know, I call you and let you know when you can leave and stuff. If you didn't say nothing, then you're just as guilty as pulling the trigger yourself. Even me, I gotta tell. I have to. I have no choice and everything. So thank you, Auntie Josie. That's a real live situation that we might come across, believe it or not. And I bet you it's happened more than not and everything and stuff. But wow. And stuff. So now what is social media addiction? You know, you can be addicted to social media. It's crazy. Huh? Oh, yes. Thank you and stuff. Yeah, that's my boss. She does all the right things. And I do everything special and everything. Thank you, Umbrina. She said, that's right. Yes, you got to report it. And this goes for bullying. This goes for, you know, like you could be a teacher's aide and stuff, and all the kids picking on this one kid, and you already see them disheveled. They don't have bruises and bumps on them, but you could see a slight neglect, or maybe the family doesn't have money, you know, and stuff like that. That don't mean that the kids that do got it going on and stuff, and they parents buy them everything and every new pair of Jordans and stuff, that don't mean that give them the right to do that, but they don't know any better. So they're gonna go after them so that everybody can stay off of them, you know, and stuff, and concentrating on them, you know, and everything. So that can happen, and you got to tell on it. You got to discipline that child, send them to the office, and anybody else that wanted to jump on, because most of the time the other kids jump on because they just glad it ain't them. And so like when you're in a situation that's adulthood and stuff. They're just glad that the person didn't cuss them out, and they probably made the burger wrong, and stuff. And then they cuss out the cashier, and then the person that really made the burger wrong and didn't look at the thing, because it's really a thing and stuff. They sit in the back like, ooh, I'll let her get the hell beat out of her, but I'm not getting beat up, and stuff. That's where that comes from. So it's rough. It's rough. So there's a such thing as social media addiction, and that means social media addiction is when someone cannot control how much time they spend online, kids, even when it starts hurting their life. It affects their school and homework and all of that stuff, lying, work, sleep, family, friendships, and mental health. It affects all those things to be addicted to social media. Signs that you are addicted to social media: checking your phone every few minutes. But anyway, checking your phone every few minutes, feeling anxious when the Wi-Fi is unavailable. They ain't got no Wi-Fi in here. Well, ain't you at Denny's? Ain't you supposed to be eating? You're not supposed to be on. And so that, what, you gonna take the food and dip it with the phone and eat the phone? Come on now. And stuff, you know what I'm talking about. So feeling anxious, like I need some reception here, and stuff. I got to do something. I got to pay a bill or something. Yeah, you ain't paying the bill. You going on there. You going on X or WhatsApp or something. But anyway, ignoring family members because you're on social media, scrolling during meals. So now we all at the table and we decided we're going to have family at the table. We all going to eat dinner at the table. And everybody like this, and they food getting cold. Well, what was the sense in cooking? And then the cook, which is the mama, most likely, or some, or maybe the dad, most likely, and stuff, they in there burning up the food. So you get some burnt food on the table, and all y'all gonna sit down and eat. But I'm gonna scroll, yeah, and stuff. I'm gonna see if I can come up with something where that's happening and stuff. I'm gonna start putting scenarios on with this podcast, but also scrolling during the meals, scrolling while driving, and you wonder why we have a car accident almost every single day, or sometime during the day, during commute or whatever and stuff. I'm just get on my phone. Also, I said scrolling while driving, staying awake till 3 a.m. because you just can't put it down. One more. Oh, it's 2:55. So I'm gonna go till 3 a.m. and then I'm gonna stop. And then it's 3:30, or something like that. And feeling empty when nobody likes your post. Only one person liked this. I thought it was special. It was hecka pretty to me. Like one person just liked my stuff. Oh, the one person was me. But anyway, I'm just saying, that sometimes happens, and what are you really doing? Are you putting it on there for them? Or are you putting it on there for you? Or is it you and them? That's the healthier way, you and whoever and everything. If they don't like it, live with it. It'll be okay. It's just like nobody saying hi to you the whole day from the time you woke up and went out into the environment. Nobody had to talk to you because you work with no coworkers or something like that, and you doing your thing, and nobody even acknowledges that you even exist, and everything. So are you gonna curl up and die from that, and stuff? So that's what they're saying with signs of social media addiction. You're worried about that. I need at least 2 likes and 3 loves, and 1 happy face or something like that. And yeah, what if they don't give it to you? What you gonna do? Because if all of us quit when we only had 1 like or no likes at all, yeah, Charlene probably wouldn't even be here talking to you about this. It's pointless. Nobody is paying attention. No, they might not be paying attention to that. Or they might all be working at that time and actually putting in work at their jobs, and they can't do that. When you posted it at a certain time and nobody was available. So that's why they didn't like it. They might get a billion likes 3 days later. or something like that. You just never know. But it's showing a sign of if you get sad and you want to give up and you're depressed now and stuff, it's showing social media addiction. Okay. There's also a thing called doomed scrolling. There's a such thing as doom scrolling. Doom scrolling means continuously reading bad news or upsetting content online for long periods of time. Did I just tell y'all about the lizard? Now it don't even bother me. Or, a guy, I seen one, it did bother me and stuff. The guy was the ex-boyfriend or something like that. And the lady was in there with her new boo or whatever and stuff. And the guy came into the store and just shot into her, laid her out, and stuff. Yeah, she's not going to live if she got 7 or 8 bullets in her because he shot her until she stopped moving. So she was gone. She was dead on arrival. And that, I'm saying this like, it's quick, but it's not. It's the act of what happened. This is somebody's mother, possibly. This is somebody's sister, their daughter, their, auntie or whatever and stuff. This is real and everything. And they filmed it. But who did something to the dude that shot her up? Everybody was fending for themselves. Pour bullets into her. Don't shoot us. She the one was when moved on and got her another boo. Was while after breaking up with you or whatever and stuff. So yeah. So that's doom scrolling, watching bad news. Only bad news. Only bad news. Only bad news. Only rough stuff. Deaths and killings. Animal killing. Animals killing animals and stuff like that. That's where that comes from, and it's called doom scrolling. Example is watching one sad video after another. It doesn't have to be the same kind of content, but one sad video, you might go to animals killing each other. You might go to people killing each other. You might go to people showing autopsies, people that are already passed on and stuff and showing the bullet holes or, something like that. And you're just watching it and watching it. It doesn't affect you. You don't get sad. You don't feel like, oh, I wonder if that hurt it. You don't have nothing on it, and stuff. That's where that comes in at. Also, before you know it, with doom scrolling, 3 or 4 hours have passed. That's how crazy it is. And you don't even know you did that much. And then you get in there and start playing with the kids. Yeah, you just watch death and death and death and death, and stuff. And now you in there trying to play with the kids and stuff. That's weird. It's definitely weird. What about endless scrolling? There's a such thing as endless scrolling. And it means continuously moving through social media feeds without stopping. The apps are designed so that The apps are designed so that there is always another post, one post after another, one post after another. So your brain tells you to keep scrolling just one more time. Then you watch that one. Oh, that one was short. Just one more time. I could get one more in. Oh, okay. That one was stupid. I didn't even like that. One more in, one more in, one more in. And then what happens? You didn't take a bath. You didn't cook no food. So you going without no dinner, no bath, and probably no sleep. Because you might go back in there. Well, since I ain't really hungry anyway, you come up with excuses and boom, there you go and everything. So why is social media so addictive? Because every notification releases dopamine. What is dopamine? Okay, this is layman terms, so I got to keep it simple, right? Dopamine is a chemical inside your brain that makes us feel rewarded or excited. Oh, I got 200 likes. Oh, I got 50 likes and stuff. I'm put something else on there like that, or that's what happens. Okay. And so examples of dopamine, getting into your system is winning money. Yeah, everybody won. Is everybody rich now and stuff because they got bingo blitz or something like that? And if you play that, for 2 hours a day, every day and stuff, you'll win thousands of dollars. You can pay for 2 horses and 3 cars and and all of that. No, but I'm just saying. Another thing that makes it kind of addictive and everything is eating chocolate. Well, we know that chocolate is candy, but what if you found just the right one? It's one that went viral, and I'm guilty of being semi addicted to it, and that is that Dubai chocolate candy and stuff, and it has like some type of pistachio stuff in the inside of it, some green pistachio something or another. It probably ain't really even pistachio, but it's supposed to be Dubai chocolate. It's very expensive, but yeah, you could get addicted to it. I went from not even eating candy to doing that. Welcome on in, Miss Sonia, my sister, and everything. Another one is getting that dopamine of getting rewarded or excited. It's getting compliments. Oh, you so pretty. Oh, I'm pretty. Okay, thank you. And stuff. And then, you could take it one way, but what if everybody stopped calling you pretty? Yeah. What you gonna do? Do that make you ugly? Or that make you the same face that you had when they was calling you pretty? You still got the same face, but nobody was around to say that at that time. So what you gonna do? Okay. So sometimes people can relate pretty to how many people like their post. So I must have been fine on there. I'm gonna look like that again on the next one and the next one and the next one. And there goes addiction. Okay. Receiving a lot of likes. I told you that one. Definitely. That's why it's so addictive, because once you get on there, you might not even been on there for a couple months or something. Then you get on there and your first post, because nobody has seen you in a while, your first post, you get 170 likes or loves or whatever, care or whatever those things are and stuff. So what happens? Now you kind of, let me try one more. Boom. Oh, it get a whole, it get double what that one got. Okay. Let me go on there and find me something else to do, and I'm gonna put it on there, and stuff. And then you like, yeah, I'm a victim. Okay, welcome on in, Miss Sonia. She said, "Hey, sis, keep teaching, sis. Thank you. I'm gonna keep on teaching, working this out, because this is the real deal. This is dealing with what we're doing right now, okay, and stuff." So then, what else? Seeing new messages, and you don't know the person. You don't even know if they, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because it's coming and everything. But y'all watch out. It's getting hard. Now I'm going to go by age groups and what they're most at risk for. So children 5 years old, measly years old to 12 years old, they're at risk for poor attention from social media, poor attention span, less outdoor play because they own that tablet or own that, whatever and stuff. Sleeping problems, they can't sleep. They're at risk for cyberbullying. They're at risk of having anxiety at 5 to 12 years old. Them is babies. They're babies. They're not even teens. That's just them. And everything. Welcome on in, Cousin Antoinette. She said, "Hey, cuz, I'm here. Sorry I'm late, but I'm here." No, you come on in. No worries or nothing like that. You know how to do it. If you come in a little bit later and you miss a little bit and stuff, no, never fear, because you can watch the replay. It's just that I'm not able to communicate back and forth with you guys because it's already pre-recorded and everything. But yes, come on in. I welcome you, everybody. Thank you for coming. Then there's teenagers, 13 to 18 years old. And their highest risk group is their problems include depression, because nobody likes none of their stuff. And they might really have a talent, but nobody likes their stuff. They don't know how to put it on there and get it out there or something like that. Anxiety, feeling anxious when they do put something out there, and now everybody looking at my face. I had anxiety, getting on here because I wanted to give you what I got, what I'm giving you right now, but then I got to show my face, and I got to, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it took a lot to build up the strength to do this. And still to this day, and I've been doing it for a few years now, not just a little bit of time, a few years, and I still get a little nervous. So what I do, this is not for everybody, what I do is pray. I pray for the people that's listening. I pray for myself that I get the information out, and that hopefully I have enough personality to keep you engaged and everything. And let's go. Let's get it done and everything. So then the teenagers, 13 to 18, they also deal with body image issues, like I'm too fat, or, you know, I'm too skinny, I'm so skinny, or whatever and stuff. Or sometimes nowadays, I don't care, because a filter can make me look like I got a BBL or something like that, or, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, implants in, you know, in a top or something like that. And yeah, that's what happens. Body image issues, peer pressure. Girl, if you don't go fight that girl over there and stuff, I'm gonna be filming it and stuff. You better start throwing them with her. You better start, you know, or something like that. And then you get into a fight with somebody that you actually really like, and you got to fight her because peer pressure. You want to be popular, don't you? Well, you should go ahead and punch the hell out of her. You better knock her out, or I'm gonna knock you out. You know, you don't know what they saying, the teens saying to the teens, you know, and stuff, because you just never know. You never know what their upbringing is to be a bully or something like that. And self-harm, you know, there's still a such thing as cutters and stuff like that. And the social media just kind of incites the riots sometimes. So it's like, okay. So it's like, you got to watch out, because it's cool, but it's not, you know. And yeah, it's a whole mess in itself. And then also eating disorders. There's a such thing as being anorexic, or having bulimia, you know, where you eat the food and then you purge it. You stick your finger down your throat, make it all come back up. But you eat a whole crap load of food, and then you try to make yourself throw it back up and stuff. That's an actual thing. And it all stems around the risk from social media of this happening to you. So eating disorders, huh? What did you say? Oh, and your mental health, yeah, or illness, because eating disorders is a mental illness and everything. But we'll talk about that soon. Sexting, sending a little booby picture, a little tit picture, or the guys, they send a little partner bang bang picture, you know, and stuff, that their private area and stuff, sending that, like my mother said, a pile down there and stuff, you know, or cyberbullying. And that's for teenagers. You see how stressed out they can be, and they ain't even start paying bills and all of that stuff. That's why it could go left on you at any time. So then you got young adults, and that would be 19 to 35. And their risk is more financial stress. Now I got to pay bills. My parents put me out, or they told me I got to start paying rent for my room. And it's been my room all this time, you know, and all of that stuff. You know, it happens. Now you got to start making your money. You got to get that. It used to be that, what is that? The paper route, you know, where you throw in the newspapers and stuff. We don't do newspapers no more, because social media is our newspaper, you know, and stuff. But that's where that comes in at. Dating pressure, you know, do he like me? Tinder, Christian mingle, if you go to church and you want to do a little sweet thing, and, you know, peoplemeet.com and all of that type of stuff, you know, is still out there. And they use social media just as much as anybody else. And then also fear of missing out, FOMO, fear of missing out, FOMO, and work stress. I'm working too long. I can't never get no time off to do nothing. Oh my God, this, and oh my God, that. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in and stuff, and it's painful and everything. Being lonely, you know, and this is somebody 19 to 35. You don't have no reason to be lonely, but yeah, that can happen. But then you feel even worse because you're not in touch. You're not tech savvy or something like that, and that all comes in and everything. So it's a lot of stuff going on. Then you got your adults, 35 to 60. That's for y'all, you know, because I'm in the 18 to 21 and stuff. But for y'all adults and everything, work burnout. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and reveal that I'm in the 35 to 60 range and stuff. So work burnout, bam. Okay. Political stress. How is Trump? But anyway, fake news. Did Aretha Franklin really pass away? Or I need to check on this one, and this one to find out, is this true? I'm going to check YouTube. I'm going to check Reddit. I'm going to check all of this stuff to find out, did she really die? Is Whitney Houston still alive? You know, or something like that. That's where it come from. Because you don't even believe it when it happened, like Michael Jackson passing away, you know, and stuff. We don't believe it. We still think he might be out there somewhere. So many lookalikes and everything. Then you got relationship problems, and that's your adults, 35 to or 36 to 60, and parenting stress. Them kids won't get off that tablet, and you got to take the tablet. You got to take the phone. And then they act like a boo-boo the clown and stuff and be ready to get killed, you know, by their parents. When I say killed, just a nice sock in the jaw or something like that, or a whooping if you still whoop, you know, and stuff, and they ain't called the police on you or something. But anyway, or sleep deprivation. So you so tired because you scrolled all night to 3:30, 4:30, 5:30 in the morning, and you got to get up for, you know, be to work for 7 a.m. and you didn't get but 1 hour sleep, and then you come in there doing a horrible job at your job, you know, and everything and stuff. That's where that come in at. And then older adults, that's your 61 plus, meaning anybody over the age of 61, and that would be like going into your seniorhood and all of that type of stuff. And are you getting pretty close to it? They're not. And it's loneliness. But I could get on here and watch I Celebrate Me by about 50 different people singing I Celebrate Me, you know, and stuff. And they got different videos for it and different people, guys, girls, and everything singing it and stuff. And you just sitting up there like, ooh, I love that song. That's for me and stuff. But at, you know, at 61 and above. Not senior, but getting there and everything. Online scams. Oh, they said if I take this sea moss with this magnesium with 75 and 1 and stuff, that that all my problems will disappear. I won't have no I won't never have a stroke again. I'll never need surgery again because all I have to do is take these gummies. And yeah, please. Yep. False medical information, not mine. Y'all know I told you, fact check me and stuff, but I'm saying it is that out there, false medical information, because sometimes if somebody is like, you know, this is this and the sour sop of the lemon balm of the so-and-so and the rice coffee and the such and such and all of that stuff and lion's mane and animal butthole or something like, oh, look at that. But anyway, animal butt and all of this stuff, crazy stuff. And you're like, yeah, if I take that and stuff, I'm gonna have superpowers, or I'm gonna be so wired up for perfectness that nothing can touch me, you know, or something like that. Yeah, exactly. So with seniors or people older and they can't get around anymore and stuff like they used to and stuff, there's that isolation. They just sitting in there. What do they got? They got a TV with Jerry Springer on it or something like that, or a couple limited channels, or they got that phone that they got from what is it, consumers, cellular consumers or something like that, where they get a free phone and they can scroll and scroll and scroll just like the best of us, you know, and everything. Or call you and then y'all don't even answer the phone for grandma, grandpa, or something like that. And depression. And then I told you FOMO, fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. FOMO. And that's feeling like everyone else is having a better life than you. because I'm in Thailand, I'm in Paris, I'm in Mexico, I'm in Shanghai, I'm in Dubai or something like that. And you sitting up here like, I just went to Great America. I just went to old stanky Six Flags. And they all out there in the fancy stuff and everything. Yeah. And you don't know if they lost their house after they went to that, because they spent $10,000 to get there. And now they can't pay they house note, their car note, and everything. They in debt. They ran up every credit card and all of that stuff. You don't know what happened and stuff. So I'm just saying that, that fear of missing out, that they're having a better life than you. Like, for example, those vacations. Oh, I'm on top of the moon. I got inside one of those rockets and we went to the moon and stuff, and we came back last Saturday. No, you didn't, but okay. And stuff. You might even get a picture of them inside one of them space shuttles or something like that. But I'm just saying, it's really that serious, and somebody else is feeling bad. Like, I got to find something to top that person, my coworker, because they think that they always go to the best places and stuff. I need to go to one of them too. And they're going to be paying that for another 10 years. So they can't even retire on time because they got to pay back that vacation that they took. Look and see if they got one every year. Okay. And then luxury cars. Look at my car until somebody else driving careless bashes it, or something break down on it. You can't even afford to get the new tire because the tire is $2,000 for one tire. It is, astronomical, and stuff, what you got to do. Or designer clothes. Yeah, I could get Chanel this and Gucci that. What have they done for me lately? But yes, I did it, and everything. Louis Vuitton, this and that, and so on and so forth. Yes. And then after you buy that $5,000 shirt, what you gonna do? You gonna wash it, or you gonna take it to the cleaners? I'm just saying, what is it gonna do? Everybody seen you in it. You took heck of pictures and they seen you in it. The pictures don't lie. And so what you gonna do with the shirt? Okay. So moving on. Perfect families. You don't know that if their family is perfect. You assume it's perfect because they all hugged up and look at my boo. We getting down. Look at my kids. They heck are pretty, right? He handsome and she pretty or whatever and stuff. Yeah. And stuff, but as soon as they get off from taking that picture, I'm gonna knock the. But anyway, you cheating? You saying we just took all these pictures and stuff? You gonna make a fool out of me? And I'm just saying, hey, and stuff. Things that make you say and stuff. And remember, most people that post their highlights never post their struggles. Okay. So just remember that when you're looking like, oh, they so perfect. They're not perfect. They don't even know how to be, because it's only one being that I know that was perfect. And he over everything and anything and stuff. So, yeah, they're not perfect. I'm going to tell you that now. It's no way. Cyberbullying. This is more geared towards the kids and the teenagers and stuff like that. But cyberbullying is bullying that happens online. For example, mean comments. So I can have that happen to me, but this is a safe zone. So if I ever seen something like that going down, I'm protecting the podcast and my viewers by it got to go. So don't even put it down. Don't even put it down, because it's not going to stay. I'm going to tell you that now, because I'm going to be looking and everything. So that's the mean comments or threats. You don't like what the girl did. I ought to tell her I'm going to kill her and stuff. I'm going to punch her and choke her dog out or something, or choke his dog out, or or something. I'll kill his pit bull or something. Yeah, I'm being sarcastic now and stuff. So I'm just saying this to say that it happens. People get so caught up and swearing up and down they know you, and they really don't know you. Never met you a day in their life, and then they want to have something to say about this or that and everything. And so you got to just kind of decipher this. And what are you going what are you going to give energy to and what are you not, and everything. So also there could be rumors and stuff. So you got to watch out for that, because a rumor is that. A rumor is something that's most likely fake, or it's not told the way it really happened, and everything. Embarrassing pictures. And I told you guys like also about the sex tapes. They released the sex tape. They released the sex tape. They released this. They released that and everything. And sometimes the people wanted it to happen, and sometimes they try to pay a lot of money for it not to come out. But either way, it's a tragedy and everything. Then it's harassment, fake accounts. Don't accept nobody if they ain't got no pictures or no posts. What is they there for? They not even getting down, so they don't need to be your friend too. Who are they? They won't even put a picture in a profile, or they'll put a dog or a mouse or a parrot or something there instead. That means they're trying to hide something from you. Or some people know how to make up fake accounts, and then they go drag somebody using that fake account, and then you just trying to get the followers. So I'll take it, and it can be a detriment to you and everything. So that's the cyber bullying and everything. And the effects is low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, fear, poor grades for the teens. But for adults, isolation, panic attacks, possibly even suicidal thoughts. It's that serious. Don't that sound like it's gonna harm your body? If you start getting anxiety and depression and you want to kill yourself after seeing something on social media and stuff, that's bad. That's terrible. I don't like no Facebook. Every time you get on that old Facebook or whatever it is and stuff, they messy on there. They messy if they're not on there for the right reasons. You got to find out who you talking to, who you associating with. And if you don't know them, you got to vet them out. Or like I did, I made most of my account private and stuff for my friends, but I made it public so that you can see, because I'm doing something. I'm a digital creator and stuff. So that's the difference and everything. There's another thing called catfishing. I'm gonna just go ahead and push it on out, you guys, and stuff, because it's not too far away from the end. And catfishing is pretending to be someone else. This is one that a lot of us get caught up in and everything and stuff, when you're trying to be maybe possibly more appealing to somebody, so that you could get them in and reel them in and stuff like that. This has really happened. That's why it's a such thing as pretending to be someone else and putting their picture up there. But it's also predators that do that, and they get these older ladies and stuff and get them for their money and stuff and bank account numbers and all of that type of stuff. And they do a whole little elite thing and stuff and terrorize somebody that just wanted to have a little companion, possibly a good looking one, or something like that. And so that's where that comes in at. Also, when they're catfishing, they could be doing identity theft. There's romance scams, and financial fraud, where they can get, a couple numbers. You send that and they can look on the receipt and see this, that, and the other and stuff. That's terrible. That's dangerous. Oh my God. It's manipulation and everything. And then what is body image? Body image is how someone feels about the way they look. We all been guilty of having low body image or bad body image or good body image. We feel like on the Easter Sunday, we get dressed in our little best digs, hair done, nails done, everything done and stuff. We getting out there. We must look good, and stuff. But what happens on the days when you got out there and nobody said a word to you? You was almost invisible. You didn't have no eyes done, no sparkly this and sparkly that and stuff. You had a bonnet on instead of, a cute little scarf or whatever and stuff. What happens to those people? That was the same one that was pretty on Easter. Okay. I'm just saying, social media has filters, often created unrealistic beauty standards. So I had a little conversation with somebody, about me and stuff. And I post a lot of stuff. At first I was just using my face, and everything. And then I start noticing the filters and stuff. So I start dibbling and dabbling with the filters and everything and stuff. And it made me look even 10 times better, and stuff. And I was just like, oh, to me, because it's my body image, is what I think I look like or whatever and stuff. And so it made me look better and stuff. So my real ones and stuff that love me and want to see me do good and stuff, they like, baby, you don't need none of that and stuff. You look good just as you are. And that's beautiful. And I thank you for it and everything. But it's also, what do I let get into my ear gate? What kind of social media do I let get into my eye gate and everything and stuff to make these pictures and stuff like that. So you'll see that sometimes the filter, they can get it smack on, because if you already make up your face and you already look pretty decent, it make you look 10 times better. It make you look prettier and stuff. But what if you look rough, and you're not fortunate enough to have all the looks and all the beauty and stuff, then they do what they can. So it might not look like you, and stuff like that. So it's to your own discretion what you do and everything. I'm going to keep doing me until I feel like I need to stop doing this or that and everything. And so for other people, because I want to make sure that y'all know this is transparency on this stage, on this platform and everything. So sometimes they miss the mark, but you really like the song, so you play it anyway and stuff. And sometimes you, how many have I thrown away compared to how many I posted? I threw away 1,000 to posting 500, or something like that. That's how serious it is. So you start picking through the prettiest of that or the most handsome of that, and everything. So that's where that all comes in at and stuff. So that is a filter. It changes the way you look and makes people believe they need to be perfect. Then just use filters every time. So I don't have a filter on now, and everything. So that's what I'm saying. So you're going to look at my nose and everything, but I studied those filters and everything. And I look at them and stuff, and I'm like, they better have these eyes. They better have this nose and stuff. But I've been guilty of putting contact lenses in and everything so I can have pretty colorful eyes and stuff. I was born with brown eyes, and that's what I got. I'm not going to change them for nobody and stuff, but I will every once in a while, pop one in and stuff. And if it makes me feel good, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm grown and stuff, and you are too and everything. So then there's a lot of medical illnesses. I'm not going to go over them for time's sake and everything and stuff, but you can have anxiety disorders from social media. It's called anxiety disorders, and it means constant worry or fear that interfere with daily life. Always worrying, always worry. You just can't put it down. You have trouble sleeping, trouble eating, and stuff. Your stomach hurts, and stuff, dealing with this and stuff. So it's pretty bad, and stuff. And it's kind of painful, to even think that something is innocent as Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or something could tear your life apart, but it can. So you just got to be, what is that? Just be mindful. And definitely you got to grow a thicker skin, and everything, because everything is not going to go your way. It hasn't went my way every time either. And stuff like that gnat trying to fly in my eye earlier and stuff. I'm still thinking about that because I'm about to tear this house up. I got a gun with 91% alcohol. I'm going to tear him up if he's still alive. And then anyway, going back to this, I'm just saying life be lifing. Also depression. That's another effect of social media, mental illness and stuff is depression. That's a medical illness causing persistent sadness and loss of interest in everything that's good, everything that's, maybe, and everything. You don't want to work. Every day is just horrible. It's painful just to get out of the bed and try to do something for yourself because you're depressed and everything. And there's, you know, things you could do to remedy that. Like, don't count out a therapist. Don't count out, you know, going to get help for it, taking medicine for it and stuff. Don't count them out, because you got to do something. And then you got insomnia. This is one that probably all of us have been guilty of. I can't sleep. Something woke me up and I went and checked it out. Now I'm laying down and now I can't sleep, or can't fall right back to that good sleep I was in and everything. And that's difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep. You heard something, so you jump up, and now you can't go back to sleep because you're still thinking about it. You don't see nothing, but you're still thinking about it. So you stay up. And then what you do? Get on that phone. Okay. So that's where that come in at. And then the eating disorders, they got anorexia, bulimia, binge eating disorder. Also, they said it can worsen on the children. This is anybody, children or adults that's been diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or something like that. It's supposed to be. And it's that constant notifications may reduce your attention span and increase your distractibility, your ability to just be distracted by anything. And then also another mental illness could be stress from social media. That's why I want to push this out, you guys. Just bear with me for a few more minutes and stuff, because stress, not just stress because you're an adult and you paying bills and you got to worry about this and worry about that. Did I pay the PG&E? Did I pay my car insurance, my car note, and all of that type of stuff? But this is just plain old stress and stuff. This is bad, you know, and everything. And too much negative online can raise your stress hormones, making it harder to relax or come down and, you know, just be you. And it's the social media. Then you put it down for a minute, you walk away and actually do something, and next thing you know, it's calling you. Let me just go see if somebody liked my stuff. Or, you know, I don't know. I'm guessing, but I'm just saying that really does happen and everything. So with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and skip to my take-home message in conclusion. And one more thing I want to do is how to have a healthy relationship with your social media. It's a such thing. So this is something real big. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Everybody don't need to notify you of something. You go find them. Don't let them find you and stuff, because they'll do it at all times of the night or anything. They don't care. They might be in a different time zone in a different country than you and everything. So don't compare your life to someone else's highlight reel. Don't be like, oh, Charlene got it all together. She, you know, she never get mad at nothing, and everything is perfect in her life and stuff. Look at her. She got all these pictures and stuff. She got the nice outfits on. No. And stuff. No, it ain't like that. It's not. You're looking at that and stuff, and that doesn't define me. That defines what I put on at that time, because I like what it looked like. And that's it. It was a simple decision like that, a split decision. It's not who I am. This is who I am, what you see and everything. Follow positive accounts, you know, like them ones that say you're going to be blessed. Tomorrow you're going to get $1 million. I'm still waiting for my million, but I've been blessed a whole bunch of times. But, you know, watch out what they use. They use blessed, but they might worship Satan, you know, and so they talk about you're going to be blessed. They know how to get you in, you know, and stuff. So that's where that comes in at. So watch out, because it might be Satan himself on there scrolling, talking about, yep, I'm going to get her. Yeah, you're going to be blessed and you're going to get 3 houses. Yep, you lied, Satan and stuff. Oh, it was a funny meme on TikTok. I need to go into that and stuff. It was a funny meme where the guy said, I went to church and they kicked me out the church because we was praising the Lord, and I said, or something like that. I'm just ad-libbing, but he said, and I said, fuck you, Satan, and stuff. And everybody got mad and kicked me out the church. And I thought we was all on the same team. We all hate Satan, that motherfucker Satan. And so I was like, oh my God. But when I seen that, I just busted out laughing because he just got excited with the mood and stuff. He in church, you know, and stuff. He said, F Satan, you know, but he said the word and they kicked him out the church and stuff. So sometimes, you know, it can be a little special at church. Not all the time and everything. Also, to have a healthy relationship, unfollow accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. Put your phone away during meals. Keep your phones out of the bedroom. That'll keep you from 3 o'clock in the morning going back to sleep. Your phone ain't even in here, you know, and stuff. Auntie Rena said, tell everyone I said I love them and I have to, and have a blessed night. Everybody, Auntie Rena says she love y'all and have a blessed night. Everybody that's on and stuff, have a blessed night and stuff. Thank you for coming on and God bless you. And so don't forget to watch the replay so you can catch this last ending and stuff. Take regular social media breaks. Stay away from your phone for a minute. Don't even make phone calls. Just stay away from the phone because as soon as you pick it up, you might want to hit social media before you make that call to the PG&E, make that call to the water company or whatever and stuff. And remember that likes do not measure your worth. Okay? Now I'm getting to the end, my conclusion and everything, so you guys can get to whatever you're doing this evening and stuff. And I hope you enjoy yourself. And thank you for taking the time out to sit with Nurse Charlene, who wants to see nothing but good happen for you in your life. Even though we know it's not going to be perfect and you're going to have some ups and downs. So the take-home message. Social media is a powerful tool, but it should serve you, not control you. It can help us learn, stay connected, and find support. But excessive use can contribute to anxiety, depression, poor sleep, loneliness, cyberbullying, and unhealthy comparisons. Pay attention to changes in your mood, your sleep habits, and your relationship. If social media is affecting your daily life, taking breaks, setting boundaries, and seeking help are signs of strength, not weakness. Okay. And then last but not least, as we close today's discussion, remember that your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Every swipe, click, and scroll influences your brain more than you may realize. Technology should be a tool, not a trap. When you begin losing sleep, peace of mind, confidence, or meaningful relationships because of social media, your body is sending you a message. Okay? Your body's a snitch. Believe it. Listen to what your mind and body are telling you before the warning signs become a crisis. Thank you for joining Medical Talk in Layman's Terms with Nurse Charlene, where we break down complex health topics into simple, easy to understand conversations that empower you to make healthier choices for yourself, your loved ones, and anybody else that you care about. Until next time, stay informed, stay balanced, and remember, your body is always talking. Are you listening? Okay, I'm done, you guys. Thank you all, my little wrecking crew that stayed on to the end, and everybody else that came on and took some time out of their evening. I appreciate you, and definitely I send my love and everything. We talked about social media, so remember, this is a tool. You control social media. Don't let it control you. And guess who I'm talking to? Myself too, because I'm guilty of some of the things that's there and stuff. So this stuff is real work. It's real talk and everything. Auntie Josie said, good night, everyone. Good night, Auntie Josie. Oh, I got to call you, but good night, Auntie Josie. And she said, good night to you guys. And y'all, everybody take care. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for any participation and everything. And 2 to 3 minutes after the live ends, you can come back and watch it. It just won't be live. It will be on there for anything that you might have missed. And Rosie Granny Allen said, good luck podcast. Much love. Thank you. And you guys take care and take care of each other. Take care of everybody, okay? Because your body is a snitch. Believe it. That's the anthem. Yeah.